Hi, this is Zibby Owens, and you're listening to Totally Booked with Zibby, formerly Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books. In my daily show, I interview today's latest best-selling, buzziest, or underrated authors and story creators whose work I think is worth your time. As a bookstore owner, publisher, author, and obviously podcaster, I get a comprehensive look at everything that's coming out and spend my time curating the best books so you don't have to. Stay in the know, get insider insights, and connect with guests like I do every single day. For more information, go to zibbymedia.com and follow me on Instagram at Zibby Owens. Hannah Brown is a television personality, lifestyle expert, and two-time New York Times bestselling author. Brown's authenticity and charismatic personality have captivated her millions of followers, and she continues to inspire and empower others. Born and raised in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Brown currently resides in Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, Hannah. Thank you so much for coming on to talk about the 4 engagement rings of Sybil Rain. This book was so fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me. No, I'm excited. I love to hear that you enjoyed it. I can't wait for other people to read it.
It's awesome. It's like the White Lotus meets like Sex and the City meets, I don't know, I had a better description before.
No, actually somebody the other day said those two descriptions. It feels like Sex and the City and White Lotus. And I love that because I love both of those shows. So yeah, it's definitely fun. I think anything that's based on in a resort, especially with summer coming up, it makes for a really good beach read, summer read, to be set in a beautiful location. And then I love anything that has to do with like your girlfriend supporting you and being there for you. So I will accept, even if you had a better explanation, I will accept those.
Thank you. Thank you for settling on my backup description. Okay, why don't you tell everybody what your book's about?
Yeah, so The 4 Engagement Rings of Sybil Rain is actually my second novel. My first novel, The Mistakes We Never Made, really centered around this wedding weekend that was actually my main character of The 4 Engagement Rings, Sybil's wedding. Everything kind of blows up and she is left at the altar after she kind of goes missing during her wedding weekend. And so this book kind of starts out answering some questions for people who read the first book, but it's definitely still a standalone book. And it starts out with Sybil having a much needed me time vacation where she's doing a little bit of work, but really it's just for her to have some time to herself after a very chaotic year. It's been a year since she kind of left her wedding in shambles and everything's going great until she runs into not one, but 2 of her ex-fiancés. And so, of course, chaos entails, and it is a really fun read, but also this trip really makes Sybil have to continue to work on dealing with some things in her past that have really made it hard for her to really accept a future and accept love for herself and from other people. And we kind of go on a journey with Sybil to really right some wrongs, to understand like what it is that keeps pushing her from not being able to accept what is hers and what life has to offer her, and continue to learn to fall in love in the process.
Oh, I love that. And you're getting married. I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah.
No, she couldn't possibly. I'm like, was she trying on these wedding gowns for the book?
No, the book comes out June 24th and I get married July 26th.
Oh my gosh.
It's a crazy time. But, I'm looking at it in a really positive light that I get to share this book with other people who love rom-coms and have supported me. And it's like the book tour that I'll be doing is like a mini bachelorette party for me. Because It's going to be cutting it close till the big day, but it's going to be really fun.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Well, I have to say, I have such a crush on Jamie, even though I obviously have not met him.
I love that.
Yeah, you made it. I was like, who is this guy? Like, I love when people in fiction can create people who I'm like, not Sebastian, but I'll take Jamie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, he's definitely like a Darcy type guy, which I love. And he has a lot of characteristics that I feel like my fiance has as well. So I definitely got some inspiration from my fiance and kind of how he all the good parts of the ways that Jamie treats her. Just that type of man I'm obviously really attracted to. So I also agree. I think he's very swoon worthy.
So basically, I have a crush on your fiance, which is so inappropriate. So it's okay. And I'm very happily married, FYI. You don't have to worry about me.
No, but it was so fun because, writing this book was definitely a labor of love, trying to balance Sebastian and Jamie and these two ex-fiancés and both being very different, but making sure like one doesn't overpower the other. Like, how do we make sure both men are like, you understand why she was with them? But it was kind of hard because at first I felt like Sebastian was like, when I was writing, I'm like, okay, like he's so fun and adventurous and sexy. And Jamie is more of like this stable, grounded man. So I had to like figure out how to, I don't know, juggle the different personalities, but I feel like they're both like irresistible in their own ways.
Yes. The third comp, by the way, was Mamma Mia. It had some Mamma Mia with all the different.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. So this one thing that SYBIL is sort of shamed about is her lack of a diploma, like a degree. Yeah. How did you come up with that? Why does she feel so much shame? I know that Jamie's more cerebral and everything, but tell me a little bit about that plot line.
Yeah, I think SYBIL is somebody who definitely has like the sparkle, the shine, but I think just sometimes in the back of her head, she's always felt like she had this expectation to be something that she just wasn't. Like I think for some people, like school is not all like going to get your higher education is not for everyone, but feeling that expectation that it had to be. She's also like an only child, so I feel like her relationship with her parents, like her not being exactly what they wanted her to be, like that's where that kind of started. And really feeling like because she had this sparkle, shine, this something that people are gravitate towards, she's had a hard time in her life really staying fully true to herself because she always kind of feels like this form of entertainment and expectation. And so I think especially when it came to like her not finishing school and having that shame around that, she is a little bit mystical and all over the place and hard to commit to really anything in her life, even schooling. And now when she is with like this incredible man, Jamie, who has obviously like been really successful and that has been his path towards success, like she feels uncomfortable and has a little shame about like her past and wanting to be the sparkle and shine in his life. And what does that mean? And how can she kind of like mold into that to be something that he's pleased with? So she, leaves some details out of her life. And one of those being, being not as open about her schooling and her life choices that led to her and Jamie being together.
Interesting. And then you also have this not so perfect relationship with her future potential in-laws and her, particularly Amelia. What do you do? Like, has this happened to you? And like, what do you do in these situations? Or like, how do we all find a way to handle the people who might not be rooting for us, which is something that so many people can relate to?
Yeah. I haven't had that. I've had my family not root for relationships that I've been in, but I haven't had like, in my experience, like another guy that I was dating, his family not approving, but there have been differences and maybe still feeling like not being what, different people have expected me to be or who I would be with or vice versa. Like I'm not the person that my partner's family or friends expected me to be. That's always hard. I think that's a lot of SYBIL's like part of her journey is sometimes you're not going to be for everyone. Do not have to be entertainment and of value to everyone to still have value for yourself. And I think it's just really important that like core relationship, like if you find yourself in that situation, like that your partner is encouraging you and validating you and seeing you, because that's what really matters. Like if you are a core solid pair, you're going to be able to withstand that. But that comes with a lot of communication. And for Sybil and Jamie, they did not know how to communicate with each other. And in ways like that is what hindered them from being able to weather that storm in the first place.
Yep.
So she felt really lost and unseen. And I think sometimes we have found like men have a hard time standing up to their mother and their family. And like when you get married, like you are starting a new family and knowing that your partner is going to stand up for you and to see you and value you. I don't think Sybil fully felt that.
Yeah.
And so that's like part of what Jamie has to, go on a journey for, is like, how is he going to balance like his parents' expectations, but also his love for Sybil, and find a way forward in that?
Wow. Well, good luck. It's hard.
Yeah.
That is a hard situation. Oh my gosh. Runaway Bride is like one of my favorite movies. I love it so much. I don't know if you see, do you follow this guy? I think he goes by Heartthrob Rob on social media. He does all these like reinterpretations in a super funny way of 90s movies. And he recently did one on Runaway Bride and being like, what, can we not all eat eggs differently on different days? He's like, what is up with that? She has to like commit to like having her ordering eggs one way. Who wants to commit to? Anyway, he's so funny about it. But I think about that. And for those who don't know what I'm even talking about, like in Runaway Bride, Julia Roberts is trying to figure out who she is, and she doesn't even know what kind of eggs she wants. And by the end, she kind of figures it out. So I'm joking with the whole thing. But I felt like there was obviously a parallel to this storyline, of course. And I'm wondering what your version is of the eggs. And do you, like, just tell me about the parallels there. Are you also a fan?
I love that movie so, so much. I had always said, which I'm not doing this, but I just love that end scene, like her in that beautiful like green field and they're on the horses. I was like, oh, wouldn't that be like a dream way to get married? So like that's like etched in my brain.
But are you going to get married on horseback?
I am not going to get married.
Okay, all right. You never know.
It sounds like a good idea, but considering the fact that I've only been on a horse like 3 times in my entire life, probably not what I want to do.
Does not actually sound like a good idea, by the way. Too much room for error.
But in the movie, it's beautiful.
Yes.
But yeah, I think for Sybil, it's before engagement ring to Sybil reigns. There's definitely a story there. And she's had different relationships where she's shown up as herself, but parts of herself that feel like they mesh with that relationship at that time. And I think if anything could be the eggs, there's I think maybe even like it looks like the engagement rings that she had, like all very different, just like her relationships, and always just kind of missing that sense of like self-love and worth in these different relationships, that she doesn't really know how to like say what she wants. She knows how to be what other people want and mold in those ways until it becomes too much. And there's too many things that she's hidden from herself and from other people to where it makes her, just like Julia Roberts, like run away and not be able to fully commit because the person doesn't even know you fully. They know the parts that you wanted them to see. So I think you can see that symbolized by like the rings that she has in this story.
I mean, in a way, it's just such a crapshoot to get married when you're really young, when you're figuring out who you are anyway. It's almost like this Wheel of Fortune thing is going around, and like it just stops right there. And it's like, okay, well, maybe I was actually going to land somewhere else, but this is where that was a bad analogy too. But
no, it's not. I think getting married. I'm 30 now. I think you could look at it in different ways. Like now I've been able to establish like my own life, and that way it gives you like a lot of confidence and like I can do this on my own, but do I want to?
Yep.
That can be hard because you're like, okay, I've settled in this, but now I'm bringing somebody else in. So that has its own sometimes challenges and ways to move around it. But also to your point, like I am so different than I was 6 years ago, 10 years ago. And when you are finding yourselves in this, like these really like strong connections and romance. It's like in that moment, you could say yes to that person, but I think just in general relationships, you have to be with somebody that you can grow and change
Yep.
and find a person that's also okay with you growing and changing. And yeah, it's funny to look back at Sybil's relationships because her first relationship with Liam that you get to discover in this book is very different than her relationship with Jamie and Sebastian. There's a different little, wheels, little spokes on the wheels of her fortune, and we get the opportunity to kind of dive into those and learn more about her as a character and who she was at different moments of her life, and also like things that happen in her life in years past, how that is still coming up, years and years later. So I think it was a good analogy to say. Yeah.
And how did you become an author?
Yeah. So I actually started off in nonfiction. I had the opportunity to write, I call it like a quarter life memoir because I was pretty young at the time. It's kind of crazy. It's been like 5 years since I wrote that, but there's a lot of interesting parts in my life, and I was given the opportunity to do that. That was never something that I really dreamt of, but I had always had the opportunity. Always wanted the opportunity and the ability to write a novel. I remember being on my mom's like kitchen counter one day and telling her like, I know this is crazy. Like one of my dreams is to like one day write a novel. I really just want to be able to do that and say I've done it, but also like have a story worth sharing. And I had an idea. I still have it in my back pocket. It's not either one of these, but yeah, this is what I say is like my first dream come true because all the other things that I've been able to do have been so amazing, but nothing that I could have dreamt up. But writing a novel has always been something that I inspired to do and didn't know how, and was offered the opportunity to be able to do this. And it's just been incredible. It's truly been a gift for me, but also to be able to share like these creative stories that I've come up with other people and people liking them has been really, really cool. So it's, like I said, it's been a dream since I was, in high school. And so that it's come to fruition this past year when my first novel was amazing. And then to have the opportunity to do it again.
Oh my gosh.
Has been great. But also like, I don't know if you hear this from other people, but like the second book was a lot harder in a way because it's like you've done it once. I don't know. I think for some people, maybe it's like you do it once. You're like, oh, I can do it again. But I'm like, oh no, I've done it once. Like, can I? But I had an amazing co-author, Emily Larrabee, that really helped with me for structure and like understanding I had this idea, I have these characters, how do I make this a reality, like a book that somebody will be able to hold in their hands and not in 12 years. And that was just really wonderful. Like that helped me so much to have like a team and support. So yeah, that's kind of how it all started, but it's been a long time coming, at least in my mind's eye.
Oh my gosh. So your last book, Mistakes Were Never Made. What is a mistake that you made?
Oh, we don't have time to go into all of them. I think a mistake that I have made, but it's been part of my story, is not truly kind of a similar thing that SYBIL has held her back, is not fully embracing who I am for fear of not being enough, not believing in myself being enough as is, seeking validation for how I make other people feel versus how I really feel myself. I think that can really hold a lot of people back. I don't think I'm alone in that. And not knowing my value and worth sooner. I think as women, we all can sometimes struggle with that because of the stereotypes and the ways that we're like supposed to be, and men as well. But I have really had to go on the journey of being able to like love and value myself as is, and not always having to win or do it right, make mistakes and it be okay and have nothing to do with my value as a human being. But there's been a lot of years in my life that I did not believe that. And so, that I don't live with like full regret, but there's always those what ifs of what if I knew this sooner? What else could I have done? What else would I have gone after? So yeah, I think when I'm writing these books, a lot of these characters are very similar to me because they're a part of me. I don't know how to write about anything that I don't fully know the feeling of. I might have not ran into two of my exes on a beach getaway and having to like confront them and maneuver around that. But I know what it feels like to be scared and have doubt and have my past catch up with me and allow me not to really be able to accept what's in front of me. So, yeah, I think some of the mistakes that I've made have been things that in this book, SYBIL also has to go through, but also the mistakes that I've made can be a path for a beautiful future once you've like faced them head on and open up other doors. So that's what I feel like has happened in my life. A lot of the things that I'm like most like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? There has been a way made forward in that. And I would say that for anybody that there's always, no matter what you've done, where you feel like you failed, there's always like a light at the end of the tunnel that maybe it was a hard runaround that you maybe didn't have to go through, but there's always like something on the other side that, whether that's a life lesson or a gift, I think either one is worth it.
I love that. Amazing. So in addition to getting married and releasing this book and all the rest, are you already writing your next book, or how are you feeling about that?
I have ideas. I have not started another book. I also just bought my first house. We have like a lot going on at one time, but I have a few ideas. So in Mistakes We Never Made and the Four Engagement Rings of SYBIL Rain, there is a core four group of girls kind of giving that Sex in the City vibe. The first book kind of revolved around Emma's love story, and obviously the Four Engagement Rings of SYBIL Rain is about SYBIL, but I have ideas to be able to really create a world in where Nikki has her own story and Willow has her own story, and how this relationship of these women, like how they're there for each other and love and loss and learning more about themselves. And so I have ideas, but they are not fully on paper. Well, the idea is on paper, but I've not fully written out a book, but I would love the opportunity to do that soon when things calm down just a little bit.
Well, I love the idea. I don't even know, what do you call it when it's four? It's not a trilogy. It's like a quadrilogy or something. I don't know. I just made it up.
Gosh, I don't know.
I don't know either. That's why.
But well, anyway, all standalone books. So like just for people who are interested, like you could start with the Four Engagement Rings of SYBIL Rain. I want them to be able to be standalone, but also what was so fun to be able, like how I decided to write SYBIL's book next is because people were so invested in her story in the first book and wanting to know more about her. So I hope that continues to happen so that I can give Nikki and Willow their chance to shine and share their love stories.
Well, I did not read the first one, sorry to say, and was not, I was not the least bit. You wouldn't even have known that there was another book.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
It was totally free, stood on its own 100%. So that was great. Is there adaptation news coming or anything?
That would be such a dream. Obviously, like for me, I come from television. And so to be able to bring these stories into that scope of work would be a dream come true. So it's definitely something that I think about when I'm writing, but I'm really just excited for people to get their hands on it and read it first. And, if it becomes something more, like that is the goal. But as you know, those things are really hard to come by and take a long time. So it's a dream and we'll see. But I always like to put it out there that, that would be amazing to be able to see this hit a screen of some sort, whether that's TV or film. That would be huge.
Amazing. And do you have a core four? Are you part of a group of girls that are? Yes.
Yes. I mean, I'm so grateful for the women that I have in my life that support me, who check me, who encourage me, who are able to talk sense into me when I need it. They all come from different areas in my life. Kind of the same with SYBIL too. Like I'm obviously getting married, so I'm having my Bachelorette trip soon. And so everybody's starting to get to know each other. And it's just so amazing to be able to have like the people in your life from different seasons be able to come together. And who knows, maybe we'll have a core 8 because I have 8 bridesmaids. But yeah, I value my female friendships so much and how they have really been integral in my relationship now, like just supporting my relationship, being there for me and my fiance Adam, like in times when like I was off, I was wrong, when we were maybe in a fight or upset with each other, like them continuing to support me and see me. And yeah, I think it's super important. I think one of the greatest love stories in your life can be with your female friendships and how you can show up and be there for each other. So yeah, very, very blessed to have some great women in my life.
So I have a totally superficial question. I've been staring at your wallpaper this whole time, and I love wallpaper so much. Do you have any idea like where you got that or what kind it is? Or
okay, I'm pretty sure it's William Morris. Is that the William Morris? I'm not sure. I cannot take credit for it because I just bought this house recently. It's like a 1905 Craftsman in Nashville, Tennessee, in like this adorable little neighborhood. And the people who we bought the house from did some really great work. And so this is theirs, but I'm pretty sure I looked it up and it's William Morris wallpaper.
Okay. Amazing.
But yeah, there's wallpaper in like 5 of the rooms here.
Oh my gosh.
But it's done so well. I think eventually I'll make it my own, but it's too good to change it right now. I'm going to enjoy it for a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to move right in.
I want to move into your house.
Well, we could just trade. That could be our next book.
Yeah. We'll do like the holiday vibe.
Yeah, we'll do the holiday.
Trade spouses or anything.
Yeah. Nashville to New York City. Why not?
Perfect.
Okay, great. I'm in. Well, good luck with your wedding. Congratulations. I truly enjoyed the book. It was really escapist and fun, and yet there was meat on it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Congrats.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Best of luck.
Oh, thank you. The dog is so calm, well-behaved. Mine would be going crazy.
Oh, she's almost 11.
Oh my gosh. So I have a baby, like a 3-year-old doodle. So they're wild.
Yeah, no. But yeah, she's very chill. Anyway.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. Good luck. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Totally Booked with Zibby, formerly Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books. If you loved the show, tell a friend, leave a review, follow me on Instagram at Zibby Owens, and spread the word. Thanks so much. Oh, and buy the books.